Hello to all my friends. I'm Renee McLaughlin, and I'm so excited. Of course, I'm always excited, aren't I? But I'm excited tonight to share this live stream with you. So on Monday nights at 7:30 Eastern, I've been doing my What the Heck is this amazing little red wand, and how the heck do you use it? So tonight, I'm going to change up just a little bit how I've been doing it. All the other Monday nights, I've been talking more about what it is, what all it does, then I give you a little bit about how to use it. So tonight I thought I'm going to change it up a little. Yes, I am going to share a little bit about what it is and what happens in your body when you turn this wand on. And then we're going to show some new testimonials. We're just getting some blow away amazing testimonials in that I'd love to share with you. And then I'm going to spend a little bit of time actually showing you how to use the wand to get the best results. All right, so welcome. And if you're here and when you come on, I'd love it if you just give me a little comment right down here at the bottom in the comments. Any questions that you have, any testimonials as well that you'd like to share, please put them down there and we're going to share those. All right, you ready to get started? Let's go. I'm going to go ahead and put my presentation on up here. There we go. Whoops, I went all the way up. I got to go all the way to the first slide. I was practicing, as you can see. There we go. Hi, Facebook users, and I'm here. I don't know who you are, so you might want to put it down there. Just calls you a Facebook user. Anyway, let's put the power of the Hertz to work for you. I always love saying, put the Hertz where it hurts. And that's what we're going to show you how to do tonight. All right, let's go to our next slide. So before we start, I have to give us a disclaimer that the iTerra device is a certified household electrical equipment. That's what it is. It is not a medical device. It emits no harmful radiation and has labels allowing for its distribution internationally. And that's really, really important. Again, not medical. Okay. So I cannot give you any kind of medical advice. So when people are asking me, hey, Renee, can it be used for this? Can it be used for that? Yes and no. Okay. So I'm going to share tonight what it is, what happens when you turn that blower on. And then from there, you can get an idea of whether or not whatever it is that you are challenged with, could this kind of stuff help you? Most likely, yes, but you're going to see as we go down for it. All right. Always consult your doctor. Of course, we know that. Here we go. What is it? Well, this device is based on three main core technologies, okay? And it was also designed as a combination of Chinese medicine and Western cytology technology. And that just means Western or cell technology. And I like to kind of preface this with that because some of the things I'm going to talk about are going to be based on Chinese medicine, and some of the terminologies might not be quite as familiar to you. And then sometimes I'm going to use the Western. So you'll get a sense of it doesn't really matter. We're all actually saying the same thing. We just might be using a little bit of different terminology and a little bit of different philosophy. Okay. And I think that's important to understand. So, what is this terahertz? Well, terahertz is actually a wave frequency. So, everything is frequency. Everything has a specific resonance, even things that you wouldn't think of, like your laptop, the trees, everything, whether it's alive or not, still has a frequency. And terahertz is a frequency that is found between microwaves. I'm going to show you right here on this little chart. It's between microwaves and far infrared and x-rays, and it's been used for all kinds of things. Terahertz frequency, it's not new at all. It's actually being used now in medicine. It's being helped in certain types of cancer research. It's being used in agriculture. And in 2004, that far back, the United States government said that terahertz technology was going to be one of the top 10 technologies that would actually change the world. And that's what we're seeing. It is just a beautiful, powerful frequency. Terahertz frequency actually is resonating, at the same frequency as a normal human cell, and it generates 100 million vibrations per second. Imagine that. Now, when those cells, our cells, are irradiated by the terahertz frequency, it's going to transfer that energy into the human body. And it actually will then activate any of the cells we have in our bodies that are inert. It also acts like a battery pack into all of our healthy cells. I'm going to go into that in a little bit. So, again, thinking about what happens when we blow into the body. I thought this was a really interesting statement. The principal treatment of Iteracare is to unclog capillaries to enhance the body cells to function healthily. Now, why did I find that particular sentence interesting? Because that's when we talk about it through our Western medicine lens. Okay, so we're unclogging capillaries. I like to talk about it with fascia. So we're actually getting in and we're unclogging the fascia. We're helping the stagnant lymphatic system because our lymph, even for those of us like myself who's moving all the time, I still have stagnant lymph. Most of us do. And that's our body's detox system. So when you start to blow into it and we start unclogging that, working and unbinding and hydrating our fascia, we're also unclogging the meridian systems, like the unclogging the capillaries. So we can talk about it in both ways, but the bottom line is it's getting everything unblocked and moving. And that's what we really want. Stagnation leads to disease. Movement is when we can start to heal and clear up things that are bothering us. All right. So I thought that was a cool statement. All right, so let's just talk about the five main features of all of our wands. One, it penetrates. So, because of the quartz technology in it, the quartz allows these frequencies to go in deep, deep, deep into the body, up to 30 centimeters. It goes deep into our bones, as we said, into the capillaries, into the cells, and it's really amazing for circulation. It's going to activate, as we said, inert cells. It's going to charge up our healthy cells. And would you believe it even strengthens our DNA? So think about that as we go forward. It identifies and repairs damaged cells and tissues that are affected by free radicals. Can you say anti-inflammation, antioxidation? Yeah, really cool. Very safe. It is 100% safe. And I want you to think about that as well, because sometimes when we bring these frequencies into the body and the body's like, yeah, and it starts to unblock everything, sometimes with the unblocking and the destagnation, etc., you might find yourself getting some reactions that you might go, wow, I wasn't expecting to get maybe a rash, get a headache, feel tired for a little bit of time. So then our Western mind thinks, oh, something's wrong. It's not safe. Okay. Not true. It is 100% safe. And that's just the body rebalancing itself. So what do you want to do? You might back off a little bit, but then you don't want to stop, because you'll stop this great process of healing. And healing is a process. All right. So it's 100% safe and completely user friendly, super easy. You know, you can use it on babies, you can use it on the elderly, you can use it on your pets, all pets, even fish and horses and all pets. And you can use it on plants and food, and just use it. Turn it on and blow it. It's just an amazing healing tool. All right, I love this particular slide. Really wanted to include it again, because here's a normal cell. Now, our cells have, again, a certain energy pattern, certain vibration. And so it's been found that at 20 to 25 millivolts, that's a normal healthy cell. Okay. So we got our normal healthy cell going, but what happens during the day? Well, we'd eat maybe not so great sometimes. You think we got a little stress? How about being radiated? I'm sitting here with this huge screen. I bet you I'm getting some radiation coming on. Emotional stress, acidity, toxicity, all these things we are subjected to. And over time, what happens to our cells? That frequency starts to drop. And now at about 15 millivolts, inflammation starts. And inflammation is a huge cause of all kinds of chronic illness and pain. So now we start to get the inflammation. We continue to get stressed and toxic. Now we end up with a bad or an abnormal cell, which is down about 10 to 15 millivolts. But what happens when we now blow into the body and we give it the terahertz? And the second kind of energy also coming off the wand is called scalar or healing energy. And now it's like the battery pack. It packs up and charges all of our cells again, just like our cell phones that go down. We charge it back up. Now it's ready to go. It's the same in our body. So think of it as our battery pack. And now that cell is charged back up and off we go again. So, what all is happening when we do this? We already know we're going to charge up the healthy batteries, the healthy cells. We're going to activate inert cells. We're going to maybe get rid of anything that's not really there, because when you put that frequency in and you have other things in the body that are not that frequency, thinking about some bacteria, the V's, the viruses, anything that does not belong there. It creates this resonance of those where they vibrates really, really, really high, really, really, really fast. And before you know it, it liquefies and you get rid of it. And that's one of the reasons why we really want to make sure that our lymphatic system is working, that all of those energy channels are working so that we can easily get rid of whatever is being drawn out and detoxing. Now, that's what's happening there. But what happens when we activate the stem cells, and how do we do that? Did you realize that in our bodies, we have our own latent, they're not active yet, stem cells, and they're located in the bones of our body, in the spine, in the hip joints, even up here in the nasal cavity? Now, you might have heard about stem cell therapy. It's been around for a while and it can be very effective. So, what the doctors do is they are able to get stem cells and they might inject them in certain points. Typically, what my understanding is, they'll inject it in certain joints, like in your knee joint, maybe even in the shoulder joint. And the idea is stem cells go to wherever they're needed and they create themselves as that particular, like, ligament in the knee or bone in the knee, and then they regenerate from there. Really fascinating. So that's when you have to actually go in and have it injected. And by the way, when you have stem cell therapy, it doesn't necessarily work right away. It can take the body a little bit of time. I know we had Dr. Kim on a few weeks ago, and she was saying, it can take up to 6 months to a year before you really feel the benefits of that kind of stem cell therapy. But here we can actually wand over the spine because it gets right into the bone and allows our own body's latent stem cells to come out, really helping us just create new organs, new glands, new everything, whatever it is. It's also heating the bones. It's really interesting. Hippocrates said many years ago, if you can find a way to heat the bones, you will find the cure to all disease. I don't quite know how he knew that, but apparently he did. All right, so that's what's happening again. This is a revolutionary device, you guys. And just so you know, the Prife International, the company that we are distributing, we're distributing it. We have the exclusive distributorship to the only IteraCare wand that is actually holds the patent. It's from Deshang Technologies, and it's patented. We have all of the certifications, 58 pages of it, if anybody really wants to go into it. And so when you go and you try to find something on Amazon or eBay or some of these other places, if it does not say Prife and look just like this one, there are knockoffs. You know why there's knockoffs? Because, oh my God, these knockoff companies are like, something's going on over here with Prife and this IteraCare wand. People are getting great results. It's like flying off the shelves. It's going all over the world. We're going to knock it off, but you can't knock off 6 years of concentrated technology and research that these scientists have done. You just recreate it in a couple of months. Just saying. We hold the patent and all the certifications. So just know that. There have been 62 clinical tests reported on this particular devices. They're issued by the Beijing Research Institute of Chemical Technology. It's very powerful. All right, let's just go right into who's it suitable for? What's it suitable for? Again, let's think about what it is that it's doing from a global standpoint so that you don't have to go, will it help with this? If it's going to help with any of these things, then you know, yes, most likely you're going to get a positive result. So, what's it great for? Any itis, we talked about the inflammations, rhinitis, pharyngitis, gastritis, gynecological inflammation, anything that's an inflammation. Okay, you're going to be able to see a positive result. Prostatitis, various pains, because pain is typically inflammation, shoulder and neck pain, joint pain, low back, headache, dysmenorrhea, sciatica. Absolutely, the wand can be beneficial. Various blockages, the meridian blockages, Chinese medicine, all those meridians we want to unblock. Lymphatic blockage. We talked about that. Let's get that lymph moving. Varicose veins. I'm going to show you some beautiful results from veins. Weight loss. We'll talk about why that is. Insomnia can be huge. Maybe not necessarily right away, but a lot of times insomnia is just an imbalance in your energies field. And it can take a little bit of time to rebalance everything. But when you do, sleep is wonderful. Diabetes, high blood pressure, low blood pressure. I'll show that in a minute. Various skin conditions. It is fantastic for skin conditions. All right, any kind. Acne, I'll show you some of that. It's anti-aging, beauty. It's fabulous. But yes, there are contraindications for sure. Pregnant women, we don't wand. We know why. No pronding. Menstruation. It is a contraindication because for some women, when they wand during menstruation, they might find that they do bleed a little heavier. Some people do, some women don't find that. And I know right before your period, you know, when you get that crampy, nasty, oh my gosh, that heat on the belly can feel wonderful. But just know, caution, if you're going to try that, you may bleed heavier, you might not. Very individual. Acute diseases. Something comes on fast, you go to the doctor, you go to the hospital. People with congenital heart and diseases, you're already seeing a physician. That's where you want to stay. Objects implanted. This is a big one, okay? If it was not in your body when you were born, it is considered an implant. We do not want over that, okay? So please don't say, well, how about this and how about that? Was it there when you were born? If not, it was implanted. Do not wand over it. Can you still wand? Yes, you can still wand any place, but not directly over. Okay, directly over heart things, breast implants, any kind of metal, hip implants, things in your spine. Okay, do not wand over them. Okay, really, typically, if you have something in your wrist, no, but typically you can do hands, you can do feet, you can do ears. These are all reflexology points, and you're still going to get in there. All right, open wounds and fractures. Open, if it's a big wound, you at least want it to heal over and then you can. Fractures, you want to go get it set. So that's really important. Open wounds, you want to go have that, set. Maybe if you need stitches, that's why they're saying that. Don't think, oh, I have a huge gaping wound, I'm just going to wand. No, you might wand after it's been stitched, but you still want to seek medical care. All right. So let's go right into the three kinds of wands, in case you're not sure. All three of these wands have all three of the core technologies, the terahertz, the scalar healing, and the quartz technology. So the first one is our beautiful red classic, and this is $350. Now, these prices are specific to the United States. If you're in any other country, please ask whoever sent you here or to myself. There are different prices for different countries, okay, all based on that. The 350 includes shipping. It is great for personal use. It has 3 settings. I'm going to show you that as we go along. And it's just a terrific, terrific device. You will get great results with it. And that was actually the 4th generation. Okay, so I'm going to skip over the premium for a second and go to the 3rd generation. which is actually a little bit before the Classic came, and it is the Pro. It's $3,500. It is an amazing instrument. You can see it right here. It is bigger. It's much heavier. It has 6 different settings. It does have a cool shot setting. It's used in clinics primarily. The cool shot can be really good if you are in a clinic and you're working on aesthetics, where you want to close down the pores. So there's a good reason for all the different settings there. So it is like the Mercedes-Benz of devices. And then recently we got our premium device, and the premium device is actually the 6th generation of device. It's actually more efficient than the others, especially from the red. So what does that mean? Well, it just means that you probably don't have to wand or do a therapy for quite as long as you might with the Classic. It only has 2 settings. It doesn't have any of a cooler setting. It's a lower blow, it's pretty warm, and then a high blow, high heat. Now, the reason for that is because those scientists who continuously study and update and upgrade these wands, they've really found that it was designed, again, based on Chinese medicine, and they are very strong on using heat. The heat for the stem cell therapy, the heat, they use heat even for inflammation. So, you go, you get some type of muscular or pain injury. In the West, what do? We ice, do we not? The Chinese, they heat it, and they feel like they want to dilate in order to let that heat, oxygen, and nutrients in there to do the healing. So they're very clear that the therapy is based on heat. Also, let me mention one more thing about heat. What happens in your body when you get sick, whether it's a bacteria, virus, food, right? The body gets a fever, right? The body is so brilliant. It knows that if it can raise the temperature, that the bacteria and the viruses can't handle the high fever. But what will we in the West do? We immediately run and take aspirin and try and get that fever down. No, I'm not suggesting that you want it up to 100, 304, where it's very dangerous. But when you get a fever, really allow that fever to take place. Watch it so it doesn't get too high. But that's part of the body's mechanism for healing. Same thing with this. We want to use that heat. Now, the heat up to as much as you can tolerate. Obviously, we don't want it to get burned, etc. So you don't want to do that. I'm going to answer the questions. So, and thanks. I can tell Cheryl's going to be helping with the questions. Thanks so much, Cheryl, for that. All right. So those are the 2 settings. The premium is just a great, great wand. Actually, it's probably one of my favorite. And it really feels really nice. It's a little bit easier to handle. It's a little bit lighter, and it's just a little bit more quiet. All right. I think I handled all those. Now, let's just look at some of the testimonials. And these are really powerful because I think they can really show you the possibilities of how the wand might be able to benefit you. Okay, again, we're not going to talk medical, just understanding what happens now when you blow. How can this give you some nice benefits for specific things happening? So, yeah, believe it or not, it really can help losing weight. Why? Because it's going to remove the toxins from the fat cells. We're going to get rid of the excess fats. Water retention, this is a huge one. When we open up the lymph and reduce stagnation and reduce inflammation, we're able to get rid of a lot of excess fluid and water. And when that happens, you're going to see, look at this, belly fat is reduced. Look at this young lady. Like, you can see she's healthy. She, probably does lots of good things, but she had this belly fat. And with the terahertz, she was able to lose that. Same with this. It's just amazing. And we have absolutely seen that. Reduce inflammation, very clearly you're going to potentially reduce some belly fat. Same thing here. Now, I'm going to get into some skin testimonials here. Now, this one isn't, but I'm just going to let you know on the next few, if you're very squeamish, you might want to shut your eyes for a couple seconds. But because there are some really powerful skin testimonials, and pictures show that. It's hard to show a picture to show a reduction in pain, but with skin conditions, you can absolutely see it. I loved this one. This person just did this wand over here. She only wanded this side and not this side. So you can see how anti-aging it is on the skin of a hand. And I don't have more information about that particular one, how long, but it absolutely works. I know that Cheryl's gotten some great hand testimonials just from an anti-aging standpoint. And actually I have too, but I take any pictures to show you. All right. All right. So closing eyes if you're a little bit squeamish. Here's one from a nail infection recovery. So this person got a bad infection in the toenail and it just wasn't healing. All right, was not healing. Nothing was working, putting stuff on it, and decided, well, what the heck? Let's go ahead and try the wand. And you can see that the infection has been healed and now the nail is coming back. Powerful. Now, this particular one is very close to my heart because this is my dad. And my father has a history of lots of, yes, little melanomas all over his body. He's had some big ones cut out, but he's just not one to run to the dermatologist. He's 91, etc. But I had gone over and said, hey, show me what's going on there on your shoulder. I hadn't know because he always has a shirt on and he never wants to bother me with anything. So he takes it off. And I was like, I had to take a deep breath, right? Because he had this thing on his shoulder. It's kind of almost hard to see. You can see a little bit of the outside, but it was very raised. It was kind of like this high. And I was like, oh my, we need to start wanding this. So he did. Actually, complete transparency. He loves his CBD oil. He gets a beautiful CBD oil and he uses it all over and he swears by it. So I said, okay, that's his belief system. I said, let's put some CBD oil right over this and let's go ahead and wand. All right. And there we go. So CBD oil and we wanded. And this was right before we started. Okay. And by the way, he had this on here a very long time. Can't tell you how long because he didn't tell me a long time. All right, so I wanded for about 10 minutes, showed him how to do it. He claimed my mother, he said he tried, and then my mother did a bit of wanding. And this was after 6 days. I came back to see him. I'm like, okay, let me just see this. I looked and my jaw dropped, you guys. This whole thing had fallen off. And even the redness was starting to clear up. And we put the CBD on and continued to wand. And whether or not it's still under or not, I'm not going to talk about. I don't know that. This is my 91-year-old father. I have to go with his belief system and what he wants. But just look at that. All right. This was an interesting one with a woman whose mother, 84, had a very bad fall and her arm was all banged up. It was just terrible. Okay, you can see this. So her daughter said, hey, let's go ahead and wand. She wanded it for, I believe I saw about a good 10 minutes, maybe between 10 to 20 minutes. That was Friday night. She bandaged her back up. And then the next day she came to do another one. She did one more wanding and then that night looked at it and look at the difference. Truly, that was 2 wandings and the next day. That is amazing. Had to show that one. And then we have some others. This is more just more cosmetic, but dark spots removed. Some people have that Melosa, which comes out and it's dark spots, definitely goes down. You can see even just from a smoothing out standpoint. I love this lady. Doesn't she look so happy? And you can see even just from the inflammation right here in the face. And you can wand and see that it'll just tighten right on up. It's really powerful. All right, let's talk psoriasis. So this is a little bit more than just let's get rid of my wrinkles, right? And I wish they would have taken a picture the first day because this is what I want to share with you. Some people, again, we have those one-hit wonders, right? Oh my gosh, we do it right now. And, 2 days later, like that other one, it looks healed. But with some of these others, it can take a while. So just know that. And sometimes it can get a little bit worse before it gets better. So as I'm looking at this one after 7 days, it wouldn't surprise me if it's actually a little more red than before he started. But he kept going. Thank goodness. Keep going. And now after 9 days, we get the flaking. Okay, I've seen this. This is what would happen with my skin. I would have this bright red and then these horrible flakes. And that would be when you'd go, oh man, it's not working. Right now it's getting worse. I'm flaking. Oh, no. It's not getting worse. Keep going. And look at this after 22 days. Okay, keep going. his skin is almost completely healed. That's just amazing. And then just pigmentation. This is another one after 7 times, and you can just see the differences. All right. Phlebitis, another, and it's an itis, but it also shows up in the skin. So here it is the first time. And then as we keep going after 20 times of therapy, 20 times, not just once, okay, but 20 times, and it continues to get better and better. Varicose veins. Now, this was a one-hit wonder, is what I call it. You can see it's pretty big right here, getting a little bit less, and then it disappeared after one treatment. Pretty amazing. So that's a possibility, but doesn't necessarily mean that if you do it once and it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay, for squeamish people, you can come back. And now I want to share this one. This was pretty cool. A trigger figure testimonial that somebody shared. So this sweet lady could not straighten out her fourth finger. And you can see she's got some arthritis going on there and some other things. And what they did was this woman put a little bit of lemongrass essential oil on there. So you can play with it. Okay. Take what we're doing and get creative with it. She put some lemongrass oil on there and wanded for the lady, and then came back after 2 sessions. The next day, the lady emailed her and said, "Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at that, you guys." She had not been able to straighten out her finger. And after 2 sessions, it was straight. That's so powerful. Here's another sweet lady. She was able to finally close her hand. She had rheumatoid arthritis and she could not close her fingers. Okay. But just 15 minutes of therapy on the hands was able to relax the nerves, the tissues in the muscles. Together with that scalar energy, she was able to close her fingers. Again, possibilities, Bell's palsy. So neurological conditions, just so powerful. Can you even imagine waking up and having that happen? And then after a week, being able to be back to normal. We talked about it can also help with glands. So here's a thyroid nodule. Okay. And after 10 therapies, that nodule is going down. Not the first one, not the second, kept going, but after 10, look at that. All right. So now I'm going to stop with those and we're going to start going over how do you use it? Okay. Hopefully you're excited now. Now it's like, okay, Renee, you got me. What do we do? How do we do it? Well, the very first thing we do, you get the wand, you open it up. The very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create some wanded water. I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But what is that doing? Well, when we're sending that terahertz frequency into our water, we're taking the water from a clustered structure and it makes it linear. Okay. And why is that important? Because when you look at our cells, there's certain places on our cells where things can come in and go out. Okay. And I have pictures of that. I'm not going to bother with that because you kind of get the picture. Well, when there's a structure, it's big, it's difficult for our water to actually get into our cells. So have you ever noticed you get up first thing in the morning and we've been told, you need to drink a big water, rehydrate yourself and cleanse out from the night. So we take our big glass of water and within maybe 5-10 minutes, we go right to the potty and we pee it right out. And I remember thinking, what is this doing? Right. So not a lot. It's going in and it's going right back out. So what the water does is it allows it, when we structure it, to actually get into the cells. It's so much better absorbed. I am here to tell you, I believe that probably 98% of everybody on the planet, unless they're drinking our wanded water, and maybe in certain parts of the planet that have really good structured water anyway, we are chronically dehydrated. And think about what that means. We are not able to hydrate the fascia, to get rid of all the waste from our cells. No wonder most of us are walking around exhausted and not feeling great, right? And a lot of times in pain. So you can see that when you get hydrated, so many things happen, right? It improves memory. It prevents degenerative diseases. It's anti-aging. There's just so many things, right? So that's why that is so important. So let me share with you, how are you going to do it? Well, give you a couple of rules with the water. Number one, you only want to wand through glass. So you want to get yourself either one glass, if you're just going to do it one glass at a time, or you're going to get yourself a big glass jug. You can find them all over the place. Go on Amazon or whatever. So I have this big jug. Mine does have a little bit of metal on the outside, so that I can have a spout. And I just have this little setup where I lift it up. You don't really have to, but I kind of like it up a little bit. I always put a little towel there because I try to really protect and baby my devices. Okay, they're very fragile. So you really want to pay attention to that. And then I set it up there and I'll turn it on. You can already see kind of the blue light coming out of the wand into my water. Okay, now I tend to put relatively warm water in here. We'll talk about the temperature in a moment. And I turn on my wand to the first setting. So let's talk for a moment about the settings on the wand. Okay, there are actually 3 settings right here on the wand. Setting number 1 is what we call a high blow. So it's pretty loud and it's going to blow out pretty hard. And it's like a really low heat setting. There's some heat, some wands get warmer than others, but it's a lower heat. So I like to put it on that because I set it here for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, I probably don't need to go to 10 minutes, but you can't really over wand. Typically, I'll set it on 1 and I'll walk away. Okay, and I'll just go do something else. And then, I'll get a little distracted. Can you relate? Then all of a sudden I'll remember, oh, I can hear that thing blowing, and I'll come in and turn it off. I don't want to set it on too high a setting because I don't want it to overheat. So I just set it on the first setting. Now, let's talk about the temperature of the water. Chinese medicine, okay, they tell you not to drink cold, especially ice cold water. Why? Because in their terms, it squelches the digestive fires. And you guys know our body is 98.6 or somewhere around there as an internal temperature. And now all of a sudden you're pouring super cold water in there. It's a shock to the system, and the body has to heat that back up, etc. And it can really cause digestive issues. That's number 1. Number 2, frequencies like terahertz and scalar are more active. Okay, they're more active when it's warm or hot. Okay, so that's why ideally you want to have the water when you go to drink it. Warm temperature is fine, but even heated is even better. Okay, so I know you're going to say, oh, Renee, I don't like that. It has to be cold. Can I drink it cold? Can I put ice cubes in it? Can I put it in the refrigerator? Listen, you can do anything you want. Will it harm you? Of course not. But it won't be quite as effective. So your choice, okay? How do you know when the water is wanded enough and ready? It's a really easy way. You're going to take a couple sips and you're going to know, because that water changes structure, right? It goes from cluster to linear, and it actually changes the texture, the viscosity of that water. It's really smooth. It has a silky taste. And even if you hate drinking water, like I hate drinking water, man, I can down it so easily. So even if you hate drinking water and right away you go, I don't want to, just give it a shot. I'm telling you. If you go to wand it and you don't feel that, wand it a little bit longer, because you will be able to tell when you do it as much. Just a single glass of water, probably a minute, should do the trick. Okay. Don't wand in plastic. And the other thing I want to mention is, especially if you are on Facebook or any of the social media and you see all these little things that are up and over and people are holding it there and how these contraptions and doing it over the water. I mean, certainly if you love complexity, have at it. Won't hurt, but make sure that it's up high enough that that water's not splashing, because if the water gets into your wand, it can be detrimental to your wand. And there's no reason. The terahertz goes right through the glass. I swear to you, it goes right through the glass. Okay, so do it that way. Don't go through plastic. Why? Does it go through plastic? It does, but you don't want pieces of plastic in your water bottle, okay? In the water that you're drinking. We got enough plastic in our bodies. Trust me on that. All right, so let's go to the next slide. So once we got that wanded water, what do we do? Well, now the next thing is you want to start drinking the water first. And it's really a nice idea to begin with what we call the basic protocol. It's a 10-step process where we're going to just start wanding on our bodies. Okay, now, do you have to do this? No. You can go right to the point of pain. If you've got a frozen shoulder and you're like, oh, Renee, I don't want to bother with all this, go right there. Of course, you're going to do it. It's 100% safe. So why do we do this? We do this because we want to be able to gently introduce these beautiful frequencies into the body, allow the body to absorb them, and begin to unblock the energy channels and open up the lymphatic system. So we're kind of saying the same thing about the lymph, hydrate the fascia, get the body used to all this moving. And then from there, going into maybe more specific places of pain. Okay, so that's why we do it. So let me just show you. The first thing, again, you're going to drink your 2 glasses of warm water. Can't get too down. You just drink as much as you can comfortably. And then you're going to take this wand and you're going to start wanding 1 minute each on the palms or on your hands. Okay. So it shows you that. Now it actually gives you a point right here on each palm. Okay. So you're going to wand, you can wand the whole thing, but do spend a little bit of time. Notice I'm going in circles. You know, you can go, oh, counter, clockwise. Don't get into all kind of rules. You want to make this super simple. Use the kiss. Keep it super simple. You're going to wand like this. You might want to wand like that and through the fingers. That one point is kidney 1. It's a beautiful point that helps with all the body's basic energy. Okay, kidney 1 is a beautiful point. We've got it on the hands, on the feet. So just 1 minute on one hand, 1 minute on the other. Then you're going to go down to feet. You're going to do the same thing. Wand on your feet. Renee, I can't reach my feet. Then you don't do the feet. Okay. But if you can, do the feet. Now you're going to go to behind the knee. Again, here's my knee. You're just going to go behind the knee for 1, behind the knee on the other. Why behind the knee? Because those are lymphatic points. Bet you didn't know that, right? Behind the knee. Then we're going to go up into the groin. I'm not going to show you my groin. Just saying. But we're going to wand the groin. Just like that. Up. Do circles. Now, some people just hold it in one place, which is fine. I like to kind of move it around a little bit. You're going to hit all the points. You're just stimulating. Okay. You're going to hit all the points. But if you like to keep it in one place, that's fine too. Now we're going to go into the armpits. Why? We've got a lot of lymph nodes in the armpits, maybe about a minute. Then we're going to go up into the lymph in the neck, maybe both sides. Did you know you have lymph nodes in the neck? Neck, most of us know because remember, even as we were kids, we get swollen glands, and those were the lymph. Why? Because we were sick, and those are the places where the detox was happening, right? And we would get stagnant there. And so that's what we're doing. Back and neck. Upper neck, you're going to go in the back of the neck, same thing. Now, the top of the head, okay, top of head, there is a caution on the top of the head. If you have high blood pressure, you don't want to wand on the top of the head. Now, I get questions. Why not? Why should I not wand on the top of my head? And that's because with high blood pressure, you don't want to bring all the energy up right into your head. You want to drop it down. So there is a protocol in our blowing guide that you get when you order for high blood pressure. And what are you doing? You're going down the spine, down the arms. Okay. You're taking the energy down, not bringing it up. What happens if you have really low blood pressure? You got it. Go top of head and you're going to wand up. Pretty simple. Then we're going to do the tush. The little tush part, you just kind of hold there, wiggle it around a bit, and then you're going to go down, blow downwards on the spine. But Renee, I live by myself, or my hubby ain't going to stand there and wand my back. I get it. So what do? You're going to lie down on the back, and you're going to wand from the front. And you're going to feel, shut your eyes and just feel your back. I'm telling you, you can feel it in the back. Why? Because it penetrates 30 centimeters. It's going through the spine. Now think about that. You got a spine. It's in the front and in the back, down the center. So what's the difference if you go behind or go in front? So don't worry about it. You go down blow down. And now that's your basic protocol. So you've gotten your reflexology points, you've gotten your kidney points, you got your lymph, everything's up and it's moving. And then it's really highly recommended to drink 2 more glasses of that warm water. And if you can drink throughout the day, just keep that going. Why? Because that water, again, getting into the cells and hydrating you. And if you can, then also do a bit of movement with it. Okay, why? Because I liken it to a sponge. Okay, think about even the fascia is a sponge. So you've just wanded, you've created heat, you've moved everything, you've hydrated first, you've wanded and heated it. Now, if you can give a little bit of movement, whether you're walking or do some stretches, just kind of move around a little bit, that's almost like a sponge. Now you're going to squeeze out the junk and open it up. So moving, even taking a little bit of walk if you can also be really powerful for helping move that. Now, if you are somebody that knows, and we know who we are, you've been really chronically sick. Okay, you've got maybe some kind of virus, Epstein-Barr, something that you know, and you know you're really sensitive. You're going to start really slowly. You're going to just start with maybe a cup of water. Do a cup of water for a day or two, then add some water, then keep going. So you want to go slowly. Most of us are not that sensitive. Okay. We can do the 2 cups of water and the basic. Do the basic for at least 3 or 4 days. See how you're feeling. If you find yourself getting really tired, that's a really good indication. Wow, this is working. A lot of people go, Renee, I thought that I should be really full of energy. Some people are, but for a lot of us, you might find yourself kind of tired for a little bit. Why? Because it takes energy to heal. The body is like, yeah, baby, I'm going to heal this. I'm opening everything, but it takes energy. So just keep going. If anything gets to be more than you're ready to deal with, just back it off. Maybe just drink the water for a couple days, but don't stop. Don't stop the healing. Keep going. Add a little bit as you can, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. And before you know it, you're going to be to a good 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, and going. I will tell you that it feels so good to wand. For me, it is so relaxing. And so you will actually enjoy doing the wand. I know that you will. So I'm going to step back from this and take a look at questions. I know that Cheryl's probably on there helping you with everything. If there's anything else that you have any questions with or testimonials that you'd love to share, please put them down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And hey, to some of you that said something to me, hi. Hey, Jen, good to see you. And Dan's on here. And Paula, always good to see you. I know Paula's got some incredible testimonials, and she's going to be doing a video with me this week that's going to just blow you away. And she's so excited to share that with you. And I'm excited for you to hear about it. Beautiful. Cheryl says that her age spots are gone. Yeah, girl, I'm putting you up here. Age spots are gone. Fantastic. I'm working on mine. I'm working on them. Just saying. And somebody, and we don't know who they are. They're a Facebook user. So somebody lost 6 pounds. Woohoo! From starting to use the wand. Isn't that amazing? So again, when we rebalance that body, we reduce inflammation. That's what can happen. And I do just want to say something, because I know that weight loss is really challenging for so many of us. And I want you to think about something, especially if you've been subjected to a lot of toxicity, whether you've been it doesn't matter. We all have our own stories, right? Mold and Lyme's and just everything. You know what the body will do? Just again, so brilliant, because the body knows that these toxins can seriously affect our health and sometimes even be life threatening. It will take those toxins and it will put it in a place where it won't be quite as detrimental to our health. And what's the place in our body that it can shove it into? Our fat cells. Why? Because our fat cells are basically inert. It's our body's storage form of energy. You can think about it that way. Okay. So it'll just stuff them there. Well, now you start to rebalance the body, and the body is feeling, you know what? Like, okay, we're getting healing. We're able to liquefy some of these. We're detoxing. And so now it's better able to allow some of that toxicity to come out of the fat cells. And as that happens, we can start losing weight. Pretty interesting, isn't it? You might also notice sometimes that when you are on a strict weight loss diet, sometimes you just don't even feel so good. Why? Because those toxins, as you're burning body fat, are coming out, and we need to keep that hydration. Notice also, whenever we go on a strict diet, that those doctors are always saying, drink water, drink water, drink water. That's one of the reasons. There is a reason, a method for their madness. But now we've got good water that actually hydrates. So thank you so much for that. So Rebecca asked, what are you doing wanding the abdomen? Thank you. I'm going to wand the abdomen. Okay. If you don't mind, Rebecca, I'm going to show your question. So to wand the abdomen, this is what I would do. And this is not the only way. This is just what I tend to do. So I'm going to go from here down to my pubic bone. And what I like to do is I like to start around the belly button. Okay. And I'm just going to wand circles around the belly button. Now, I also want to mention that as I'm doing this, intention is very powerful with the wand. Okay. This is not woo woo. This is actually quantum science. When we turn this on and we have quantum energy as well as the terahertz coming out, it's actually opening up the quantum field. So you want to be very careful what you're thinking and what your intention is when you're wanding. Okay. Just try it and report back to me. Even if you think I am full of hoo-woo, try it anyway. You want to be saying, I'm healing. This is healing all parts of my body, mind, and spirit. And if you have something going on, this is healing my constipation. This is healing my female issues. And then I start making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And I just wand. I love to wand over here. And I notice what I'm feeling. So if I'm like, I'm feeling kind of stuck down in here, maybe some constipation, I'll wand down in there and it's warm. I love to use the heat. I actually do it. You can wand, by the way, over clothes. I personally, especially when on my belly, I like to kind of take the clothes off and really feel that on the skin. It just feels great, you guys. Sometimes I'll go maybe up over the liver, over the spleen on the other side. Don't do it too long the first couple times, maybe not more than 10 minutes. And just notice what happens. Let me know. Come back over that one. All right. Thanks for asking, Rebecca. Deborah asks, can I wand over a compression fracture that you've had? Okay. You're asking me very specific medical questions. A, I'm not allowed to answer that. And B, I don't even know what all that is, quite frankly. So listen to what I said and how I said it. And if it sounds like it would be helpful, do it. If that surgery had anything implanted in you, you don't wand over it. Other than that, that's about the best I can answer, Deborah. All right. When wanding, using wand for fat loss, do you go back and forth horizontally over the stomach? You certainly can. You can go circles. You can go back and forth. You know what? I believe it's not specific to where you're wanding, Ruth. I believe it's just that as you reduce inflammation, the body heals. It's just a natural consequence. All right. Let me see what Kathy said. After doing the protocol, and then I'm going to put you up, Kathy. Hope you don't mind so that everybody can see it. After doing the protocol and wanting to focus on lower back or other area, how many minutes do you recommend? Great question. Thank you for that. And 5, 10, 15 minutes. Maybe in the beginning, I wouldn't go more than 10. But what you can do is go for 10. You can wait maybe about 4 hours. If you're still in pain, go back again. Okay. You can go a few times a day. Not a problem. Now, there are also a couple of other little rules. So let me share that with you because you'll get those as well in the protocol. And that is when you're wanding, again, you're using heat, right? So you want to use heat. So it's suggested that you not get under anything cold. Don't get yourself cold or chilled within about 4 hours. okay? Because you want that heat to be working on the fascia and on the energy field, okay? So that means try not to sit directly under a ceiling fan, for example, or air conditioning blowing directly on you. I know when it was the heat of the summer, people were saying, well, Renee, it's like 110 out. You mean I shouldn't have air conditioning on? Let's use our common sense. No, but you don't want to be sitting directly on it blowing, okay? They also recommend not taking a shower for 4 hours after blowing. Take your shower first and do that. And people are like, why? The water's hot. I get that. But when you get out, a lot of times there's a tendency to then chill. So use your discretion. Okay, just sharing that. So again, you can do it, go for 4 hours, then try and do it again. Now, quite frankly, I don't always follow every one of these rules, but these are the basic rules to try, and then you can experiment a little bit on yourself. Okay, hopefully, Kathy, that helped. All right, after one wanding one time. Oh, this is beautiful. So Paula was just giving some of her wonderful testimonial. So let me put it up here for the rest of you to see if you're not over in comments. She had a pinched nerve in her neck for 5 years. And in just one session, imagine that, it was released, right? Powerful stuff. It's just powerful. Now, will that happen for all of you in one? We're just holding out the possibility. But if it doesn't mean it's not working, right? So you're hearing how it is. Okay. Everybody's body is so individual and different. So thanks for sharing that. All right. Let me just see. Linda, if you don't mind, I'm going to put it up here so I'm not looking over on the side as I'm doing it. Oh, good for you. Got your wand. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. That's a beautiful question. Thank you for that, Linda, and sending many blessings for healing. Many, many blessings. I'm so glad you got your wand. So grateful you got your wand. Drink that water. Drink that water. Okay. Yes, because you didn't have anything implanted. You had them taken out. Wand the pit. Wand the pit. Wand all your places. Wand, wand, wand. Sending blessings for continued healing for you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. And Paula's adding some more. All right, I'm going to give one more of Paula's. Skin tags on her neck and chest disappeared. Woohoo! Shit. Yeah, hair loss, right? And like that happened to me too. And thank you so much. So exciting, right? All this great stuff. And just from going from a small period of time. And I will say this, Paula's really excited. She's psyched. And you know what? Her intention, she has such a strong intention on healing. And I do believe that's making a huge difference in what's happening for her. She is turning it on and intending and seeing it and visualizing it and feeling it. And you know what? It is working. All right. Thanks, Greta. Greta asked me to go over the difference between the regular and the premium. And sorry. Oh, you know what? I have my premium right here to show you. So all right, so I'm going to put them side by side, first of all, so you can see them, okay? So what you're going to see here with the Classic is it's not as wide down here where you hold it, but it has a longer, narrower, I call this the snout or the blower, than this one does, okay? So that's number one. Why do I even mention that? I mention it because this one is much sturdier. And quite frankly, it's a lot easier to hold and use. So if you happen to have some carpal tunnel or you have some wrist or just don't have a lot of strength in that hand, this one just feels it's lighter. And because the snout or the blower isn't as long, and it's just a lot easier to use. Okay, that's number one. This is also the most recent generation of wand, meaning it's much more efficient. So when you use it, you don't have to use it quite as long during that therapy session as the Classic. Now, I can't give you if you would do the wand for 10 minutes, the Classic, then you only do this for 7. I don't have that kind of comparison. I'm just telling you what the scientists are telling us. It is more powerful. When I use it, I can tell the difference, but I can't give you more than that. It's also not quite as loud, which is really nice because I can't stand that loudness. It has 2 settings, not 3. It does not have a real cold shot. It's low blow with a medium heat, high blow, high heat. Okay. But here's the thing too. If it gets too high, you can just move it away from yourself. Okay. It still penetrates 30 centimeters once it hits the skin. I thought that was an interesting little factoid. So, like when I want to use it on my face, if I don't want to use the other, because you do want to use cooler on the face, I'll just take it out a little bit further and use it. And then you go in circles if it's a lot. And that way it's not a ton of heat on any one point on the body. So that's the premium, and it's also more sturdy. Okay, it comes with its own beautiful little carrying case. So if you travel, and I happen to know my little Greta does travel, it comes in a nice travel case. I have it over there in blue with the little locks on it. Okay, the classic comes in a sturdy box. But it's, if you travel a lot, you'll have to find something probably to keep it so that it doesn't break because they are fragile devices. I hope that that answered that one. 350 including shipping for that. 1050 for the premium. Let me put this over here. And Cheryl says she loves her premium too. She uses it at night and sleeps so well. I'm going to put that up here, Cheryl. Thanks. You know what? Me too. I love my premium. And the other thing that I love is because we watch TV, be watching whatever we're doing at night while we're relaxing. And it's not so loud that I can't keep the TV on. So I can be wanding my feet, wanding my head. I wand and the hubby's up, like looking at me like I'm crazy. I don't care. But man, you do sleep so deeply. I found that as well. My sleep has just been incredible. And yet my energy is great. So now it's probably really late at night, right? And yet you can see I still have really good energy. So that was fantastic too. All right, you guys. So I'm going to hold, anybody can still see the comments on the side. So I'm going to leave Paula's there. She has another one, but just for time's sake, and since she's going to do a longer video with me for that, I'm going to go ahead and stop those. And thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your testimonials and your questions. Look, this technology is so wonderful. It truly, truly is. It's very healing. And as long as you understand, kind of get the gist of what happens in the body when you turn it on, then you can have a good idea about will it help you and from what. So that's number one. You don't need very specific protocols for specific things. Honest to goodness, KISS. Keep it super simple. All right. Yes, there's rules. Keep it simple and just get it out and blow. That's what we like to say. So thanks so much. Thanks for coming on, you guys. So happy to have you. Just so you know, this Thursday night, I'm going to be doing another live stream right on these same places with my Dr. Kim Caporale, who is a doctor of Chinese medicine and acupuncture. And we're going to be talking about balancing the brain balancing. Whether you have the wand, we're going to show you how to do it with the wand, and we'll also show you some tips on how to balance that brain, even if you don't have a wand. So hope that you can join in with that as well. And thanks so much and have a terrific evening. I appreciate you.